right, Steve. Now can we take a look around your shop and you can explain the different sections?
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
You know, there's
sure.
T-shirts and albums and
Right.
everything.
So the two rows that we're standing in the center of are mainly 60s and 70s artists. And everything that you can see is all alphabetical, and it's all very well organized and chronological and very obsessive. And so these are mainly 60s and 70s rock artists of those eras. And the other side of the room is what we call the new wave era, which is basically late 70s when the punk era exploded. So Sex Pistols, Ramones, etc., up until today. So we have two separate alphabets on this floor, and then of course we have a new releases bin over here, which are things that have come in over the last couple of weeks, and that's constantly revolving. Just to give people a sense of like what's out right now.
Right at this moment.
Yeah, and it also includes reissues of things as well as brand new bands. Yeah.
And I see you have Record Store Day. You participate in that?
Oh yeah, we've been doing that since the first year. Yeah, and it's a very exciting time for us because you've got people coming in just looking for that thing that they know they're not going to be able to get the day after.
That's right.
So it's a very exciting day here, and a lot of times we'll have a band playing outside or DJs, and it's just a really good feeling, and it gives us a sense that that people have that excitement and really just want to know what's happening.
Right. Now, other than your band, The Mixture, and you
are there other bands besides The Mixture? I don't know.
Foot Stomp and Psychedelic Soul. I'm definitely going to pick that up. But are there any bands that are exciting you now? Any new bands?
There's a lot of really bands that I love right now. One of my favorite bands right now is a British band called The Struts. And what I like about them is that they remind me of the stuff that I loved when I was growing up. So they have all the right influences, but they're making it their own, of course. But they're very glam oriented. They look great on stage, which The Mixture is all about that. And so they've got that freshness and they've got the attitude. And I'm hoping it catches on in the U.S. and the U.K. They're pretty big already.
The Struts, you
the
say?
Struts, S-T-R-U-T-S.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. It's like rock, but big sound, So that's one of the bands. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that comes through here. A lot of singer-songwriter stuff. I mean, there's so much. So much.
Oh, yeah. And we'll just take a walk down this way, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
I see you have these compilations.
Yeah, so our shop on this floor is also divided into genres. So, for example, this row here is called krautrock, and this is all stuff that was basically coming to light in the early to mid 70s, and it was the German version of rock at that time, and they had their own twist on it. A lot of it started adding electronic influences that weren't around prior to that. So it has a very unique sound, and of course there are people that are following this kind of thing too, as well as psychedelic stuff, which passion of mine. Is the era that I grew up in, the music that I play, and so most of this is British or American bands from mid to late 60s, early 70s that were really expanding the genre of music at that time.
Okay, fantastic. This is great. And see, Rod Stewart's here.
Yeah, see, he's a good friend of mine. Yeah. We hang. Yeah.
And then downstairs you have the bargain bin, jazz, soul, blues, folk, classical, rock, 50s, reggae, country soundtracks. Books, posters, T-shirts. Everything.
Well, we did the bargain bins recently because we felt that is a good entry point for young record buyers. The records in there are $3, $4, so it gives people a way to have the experience without breaking the bank.
Right.
And it will also allow them to develop their own taste. This way they can have a record experience and perhaps develop that as they get older, have more money, their tastes become more refined. But at least this way, it doesn't prevent them from, having that experience.
Getting into the market, having
because
that
new
experience,
records today, they're not inexpensive.
That's true.
And so to allow people of a certain age group to have that experience, we decided that would be the best way for them to get in there.
And I have looked at the bargain bin and bargain basement, or whatever you would call it, and it's not your typical bargain bin. I mean, the records are still, they're not bargain bin condition. You go in some stores and it's like, oh man.
I know. So that's the other thing, because everything in our shop is so pristine that if a record might have somebody's initial on it, or there might be a little ring wear, or there might be a cover ding or something, I can't put it out here at full price, so I put it there. So that's why our bargain bins, for a lot of people, they'll see that and they're like, well, this is like every other store I go into. Why is it only $3 or $4? It's because, well, that's our aesthetic,
right.
But we want people to have the experience, so there you go. Have fun.
Yeah, because you have that bar set so high with with your records and the quality.
Yeah,
and it's like, wow, this is bargain bin. It's like great. Yeah.
Record in the shop has a sticker that we put on it, and it gives a person, tells them the year that the record came out, tells them a record like this, which is still sealed, it was released in 1960. Right, so we're talking a couple of years ago.
Just a few.
and it gives them a sense of what the record is about and who might be on it, so you have that instantaneous understanding of what you're looking at and what you're holding. And so it's really a situation where it's really kind of a piece of history in a lot of ways. You can just kind of go through stuff and you run across things that, a record from 1956, here it is, it's like pristine as the day it came out.
Just like yesterday.
So so really, we want people to have the experience that it's almost, in a sense, a museum, but you can take these things home. And they're yours. So, instead of taking the painting off the wall, you can take this record home and it's now yours, and you can enjoy it for the rest of your life.
Nice. Yeah. And, if you see he has a nice Sun Ra section. Usually Sun Ra takes up a little bit of space in most record stores. And then I heard you could actually fill up a whole entire row with those.
Well, Sun Ra's, a master, and big, loved the guy. Saw him live when I was growing up in my art school. They came and performed. It changed my life. I mean, this amazing
big orchestra.
Bands. They were incredible. The clothing, the space, precision, everything was amazing. So of course, we're gonna have things that are very meaningful to me. I mean, I curate this shop based on what I value, and so a lot of it reflects my own personal musical experiences as I was growing up as well.
Fantastic. Well, this has definitely been very interesting for me, very eye-opening.
Thank you.
I said, well, we're going to do vintage vinyl, but then he's just pulling back layers and layers, layers and layers. It's so deep. It's
a
so
lot of
deep.
History here.
Yeah, a lot of history. And to the viewers of my channel, I appreciate it. And there's going to be more of these, especially at Vintage Vinyl, because I have a feeling you have more stories.
There's 1 and 2. There could be a high fidelity 2 and 3 coming.
Okay. So we will definitely be back. As always, support your local record stores. Support places like Vintage Vinyl. I mean, these places are American worldwide institutions, and so support your local record store, local business. Just keep vinyl alive, And Steve, thank you very
Thank
much
you
for
so
everything.
much. It's my pleasure.
Been a pleasure for me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, till next time. Peace.